Hello, this is a round review. It's been a while since I've done one. This is going to be a good round to bring it back on, as I feel like this is replicatable in solo queue to an extent. And this is Na'Vi versus Loud on round 12 of Pearl in Champions 23. The loadouts are fairly similar, with just 2 light shields being the difference. And there is no ults available for anyone. However, there is important things to note is that 2 orbs away for both Kevin Zine and KO. It will be Loud's plan to get Kevin Zine some orbs, or the orbs to ult. So as you can see, they have 3 players towards B. And Na'Vi actually done a play where they're actually more towards A, so they won't actually see the pressure being created over at B, which is actually quite important. 2 actually has the operator instead of Aspas, and he'll be holding this line here to make sure that they don't go for any info in mid, as no pressure is being really made very much in other areas of the map, right? So therefore, Na'Vi might decide that they're going to try and be aggressive in mid to try and find some information. However, that doesn't actually happen in this round, but that's the reason why 2 has the operator here and not Aspas, as Aspas wants to be fairly close to all the action, and Astra doesn't have to be, because she can influence that from anywhere. And it's very weird to just leave your duelist in the middle of your team, right? You want them to be on the edges of your team, potentially taking the fights, right? So it's very weird to have Astra. It would be very weird to have Astra in that position, or to have maybe with. I mean, no, you wouldn't even have the breach there either. So with the comp, it kind of works that Astra is the one with the operator in this position. So Load are going to try for the orbs, right? And the reason why they go for this order instead of going for A first is because they want to end on the opposite site, and I think it's just their choice. I can't see a main reason. Like, the reason for this, right, is because you would make sound late round, and then you make, and because you made sound late round, that the enemy team are going to expect you to go to the closest site. However, they want to mix that up and go all the way around back to B. But you may see it's a bit predictable in this round, or not exactly predictable, but readable by the time that they actually have pressure. So then it does actually kind of nullifies the fact that they did that. However, there is also some really good individual play from Na'Vi in this round too. Also, something to note as well is that Loud may expect Na'Vi to play for this orb because the Zipan is close to his ult. So that's the reason why they actually go for B first. And you may be thinking, why not fight for this orb? And the reason why is because they just don't want to fight for the orb early on, because they have all this potential for map pressure in the Killjoy and the operator with on Astra, is that they can just cancel and go B, and then that gives them 2 orbs anyway, right? And Zipan will be stuck with 1. So Zipan will get 1 from this orb, and then he wouldn't have ult. He would have to try and find a kill, while Karen Zine could get the orb and plant, right? And obviously they don't know that B is open, so they may have to fight 1 player in their minds probably. And you can also see that they have a star here which Na'Vi can't identify because none of them are near. So they wouldn't actually be able to see the pressure, but they didn't because of the way they were playing. So this round actually early on goes quite well for Loud, despite it being potentially predictable. You can actually keep a track of the enemy's orbs as well on the scoreboard. So I would actually imagine that there is a player on Na'Vi that was doing this the whole time, keeping track of Kevin Zine's orbs. And that's the reason why you might see Angel push up later on in the round, or kind of like mid-rounding. So as you can see, 2 is just chilling in mid, making sure not to get hit by this recon, this drone. And the reason why Les moves over here, Les would honestly be trying to hear this orb being taken, because then it would confirm potential suspicions that Zipan is going for this orb with his team. But once they hear the drone here, they most likely think there's going to be not much pressure here. So Les moves up and tries to potentially help 2 if they're going to push mid. But 2 has a good advantage here with the operator in this defensive line. So anyone trying to push up will get punished. Angel doesn't quite fall for it, and he ends up just putting a dart through it, which is like honestly expected when the enemy team don't have much pressure in the map overall. Aspas is playing fairly passively. In the meantime, Loud have got an orb on Kevin Zine, and they've moved all the way back to A. Then get the orb again. Kevin Zine will clear the area with a Prola. I do think it's quite weird that he's going like straight first, and you don't have like Les going first here. Then he went like straight first, but I don't know. Maybe it's just maybe it's just me being overly cautious maybe. But they end up getting the orb on Kevin Zine, which is big. They made sound, so you can see Shao moving through the middle of the map to go and help his team, as I think it's going to be an A hit. Tui's then swaps out the operator, and Aspas is starting to look more for a fight. They make noise in art, which may confirm that there's going to be some sort of split. However, once this goes down and detects Zipan, they know it's not going to be an A split, and it's going to be a B take instead. They put down, Shea puts down a smoke in front of Aspas, and then it just sort of ensues, the round sort of ensues like that, with a orb. So you can see there's also another one from Shea here to stop Zipan being like super rushed by the 3 players in short. CNED is also under a lot of pressure, but he's very aggressive. His aggression got punished quite a lot in this series, on defense especially. But this round it won't go punished. Zipan managed to get honestly quite a lucky kill on Aspas as he kind of dashed into his spray of bullets before the fade ult went down. If he actually just waited a bit for the fade ult, his dash wouldn't have made no sound, and maybe it would have been a bit better timing. But overall, like, it was just kind of unlucky shot instantly. And also Cena managed to get a kill. So if I just go back, Cena managed to get like quite an insane kill on the top of heaven onto I think it was Kevin Zine. As you can see, that ult actually was quite big would have been quite big value from Kevin Zine if it had been allowed to hit and Aspas just waited a tiny bit longer. Zipper managed to flash out, and then he's able to punish anyone coming out short. And Angel also peeks from CT to get the kills on Sadhack and Tuis. So you can use this in your competitive games, making sure, the main things to note is that you want to make sure that you are utilizing the fact that you have a sentinel to control the second orb you want to take, and then leaving your duelist or someone else at the place where you came from originally, so at the first orb, to then hold this space that you intend to retake. And then you can even go and split that area by sending the person in mid to the duelist or the other player that you left there, to create this split that they managed to create. So I hope that helped people struggling with more conventional maps and getting the orbs. This is how you should do it. They did it really well in this round, but Na'Vi were just better when it came down to the mechanics on site. Sometimes there were some missed timings from Loud, but overall, the actual premise of what they did and their execution in like the early round to the mid round was really, really strong. And hopefully you will learn something from that. And I'll see you in my next one.